I run almost my entire business on AI. I use it with human design every single day. I even built my own human design AI tool, a chart decoder, and it works. And I still would not let a general chatbot read your chart and hand you the result as you're reading. That's not a contradiction, okay? Let me show you how that's the whole point. I'm the person who builds these tools. And that's exactly why I know where the line is. Let me show you where it is, because most people pasting their chart into ChatGPT have no idea they have crossed it. So, the first thing, no shaming, because I get why you're doing it. You paste your chart into a chatbot. You ask it what your design means. It writes you paragraphs, fast, confident, personal sounding, and you take that as your reading. There's a whole shelf of apps now built on exactly this. Human Design AI Reader, Best Human Design AI, Free Human Design AI, a whole search page of them. And honestly, the initial reading you can get that way is kind of cool. I'm not going to pretend it's useless, but whether it's any good comes down to one thing almost nobody checks, and it's the thing that separates a real tool from a confident mess. So the distinction that changes everything is this. There are two completely different things wearing the same word. One is AI translating from curated, approved sources. That's what I built. Whenever I use AI with human design, I let it pull from my own material or from sources I have personally approved, nothing else. Because the interpretation layer is the whole game for me. And I don't want it boxing people in the way mainstream advice does. Give AI tight rules and a clean source, and it becomes a genuinely useful translator. The other one is, number two, AI reading from the open internet. No source control, no constraints, no interpretation layer. So you give it your chart and it goes and averages whatever. And what it finds is the loudest voices in the human design space, the ones with the most content, not the most truth. So it's the same technology, but opposite reliability. One is a curated instrument, and the other is a slot machine with good grammar. So let me tell you what's actually happening inside the generic version mechanically. It takes the broad internet advice on human design and it creates a mix of interpretations from all of it. There's no quality control. Nobody is checking whether the loudest source is the correct one or like the most empowering one. So the machine reduces everyone else's opinion about charts like yours down to an average. And then it hands you the average with total confidence. The last part is the dangerous bit. Confidence with no basis reads exactly like authority. And I know this because I tested it. I ran my own chart through the big models. I keep specially curated files on how I interpret human design because I'm genuinely picky about interpretation. So I knew what a good reading of my chart looks like going in. And I spotted the patterns immediately, the averaging, the rulebook defaults, the confident flattening of the exact nuances that actually matter. It wasn't reading me. It was reciting the internet at me. Now, the part that makes this hard to catch. And I want to be fair about it because a lot of people say their AI reading felt incredibly accurate. And I mean, even those who are in the human design scene a little bit longer, okay? AI is brilliant at mirroring back what you already said. You describe yourself while you ask the question, and it reflects your own words back to you. So, of course, it feels like, being deeply seen. It already knows a little context about you, too. Mirroring plus context feels like recognition. It's the same reason a good horoscope feels personal. So when people tell me the reading felt so accurate, I gently challenge why it felt that way. Because a lot of the time, the reading felt accurate precisely because it was dogmatic. It put you in a clean, familiar box, and being put in a box feels like being understood. But it isn't. We don't want to be put into another box with nice language. Feeling seen and being seen are not the same event. That's coming from a projector, okay? So I'm gonna give you a concrete one because this stopped being theoretical for me recently. I came across an incarnation cross decoder, an AI tool, and it was full of genuine mechanics, mistakes, not interpretation I disagree with, actual errors in the mechanics, the factual layer that isn't supposed to be up for debate. And there was no quality control anywhere in it. It just spits out something built on general internet knowledge, not infused with anyone's real knowing. And you never actually find out whether it's correct. That's what I find genuinely dangerous. Not the technology, but the blind trust around it. People don't question the output, they believe it, and then they follow it. They reorganize their life around a confident paragraph that nobody checked. And I do not follow like that. I have my own path, and I want you to have yours, which means questioning the machine instead of obeying it. I mean, like I'm around, the best people that are in the AI space currently. I'm a member of the hub of Dr. Nissi Sweeney, and I've gone through all her resources on ethical AI, and she says it herself that, we need, guardrails. Because, yeah, I mean, like, you can't just blindly trust what AI gives you. It needs to have some rules, and you are the one who needs to give the rules. So now the hard limit. Even the good version, even my curated tool, hits a wall, and it's the same wall for all of them. AI cannot read your energy. It can retrieve mechanics, it can translate, it can structure, but it cannot sit across from you and feel what's actually moving in the room. And I'm sorry, I just bumped into my mic. So working on the energy level is a different thing entirely, and it's something AI simply cannot do. This is literally why we have projectors, not only mental projectors, all of them. People who genuinely see you and hold the space for you. This is not a feature you can train into a large language model, okay? When you work with a human who reads energy, something happens that no amount of curated data reproduces. AI can hand you information about your chart. When you're gonna give it a curated source of that information, it's actually gonna be pretty good, but it cannot witness you. Keep the seeing human in the room. So where does AI actually belong? Here's the model I use, okay? And I took it from medicine, not from human design. In evidence-based practice, medicine, fitness, nutrition, you have three things: the research or the data, the practitioner and their expertise, and the individual, the actual person in front of you. On the intersection of those three, you get something trustworthy, not on any one of these alone. Carry that straight over to human design or astrology or any other tool, even AI. Circle 1 is the system, the mechanics. Circle 2 is the practitioner. In this case, would be me. Okay. Circle 3 is the actual human being sitting in front of me or sitting in front of their laptop on a Zoom call with me. And AI gets called in after that intersection exists. Once we know who it's for, where that person stands, what they actually want, then we can hand AI what the intersection produced and let it help us systemize and build. That cannot be based on the chart alone. Chart straight to AI answer, deletes 2 of the 3 circles and keeps the weakest one. That would be very bad, and it's exactly what the generic reading does. I want to be concrete about where AI is genuinely brilliant for me, because I'm not here to scare you off it. I'd be a hypocrite. My favorite use is honestly simple. When I'm working through something, I go outside for a walk and I talk. I take a topic, a few questions to sit with, and I just talk freely. No overthinking, no structure, the only structure are maybe questions I wrote down, okay? And by the end, I've got a lot of mess. And that's where AI genuinely earns its place. It takes my mess and helps me structure it and mirrors it back in a way that's easier to digest, and it's downstream of my thinking, but not a replacement for it. And notice the framing there. I don't really do human design readings in the sit down and tell you sense anyway. I use human design as a tool to solve a problem, to help you build your business, to create change, or come up with, solutions. And reading gives you information. I want you to actually use the chart through guided practice or by talking with someone who sees you at a deep level. AI is fantastic for the systemized part, but it was never going to be the seeing part. So feel free, to use AI with human design. Build tools with it, translate mechanics with it, let it structure your mess on the walk home. Just know which AI you're using. Curated and constrained with a real practitioner and a real person behind it. It's an instrument. Generic and confident, straight off the internet, it's the average of the loudest voices wearing the costume of your reading. And keep one thing entirely human: the energy, the witnessing, the seeing. What I actually, want for you, and it's the whole reason I'm careful about this, I don't want to be another certified echo of someone else's revelation. I'm here to become the source of my own. That's the invitation. Don't outsource your knowing to a confident machine or to me or to any teacher. Use the tools, question the tools, but stay the author of your own life. Now, if you want a reading built on curated sources instead of the internet average and the actual tools to turn your chart into change, that's what the Human Design ReDefined Lab on Skull is for. It's linked below. Come find me there, and I'll keep refining those tools with you, because, that's the whole thing, talk with one another. I created this space on Skull because I got sick of how, human design is being used to keep people, in the loop of paying and paying and paying. I want you to genuinely have the resources you need and, go ahead and live your life with it. I don't want these resources to be, kept behind a gate. I don't want them locked behind a gate because I feel they are too valuable, to be kept that way. That's why I created Human Design ReDefined Lab on Skull. And that's, why I'm doing, this whole thing. Because yes, human design is a very valuable tool, but a terrible master. And that's my whole philosophy. See you in the lab.